Hello everybody, my name is Lee. I'm from a band called Gong Wu. I've been asked a lot recently to make a video blog by many of my friends, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to probably talk about my band rather than myself, because I don't really have much else to say. So not many people have heard my voice before, so I thought it'd be really interesting to show you guys actually how I talk away from singing. So this is me. I thought I would, going on my first blog, to talk about our band name Gong Wu. People always ask me what our band name is about and how we came up with the name, and basically it all goes back to Bruce Lee's philosophy. I've always been obsessed with Bruce Lee since I was a little kid, and one thing that he always talked about was his philosophy on water. Now, I have always been in the belief of the same thing. I've gone through life never following the mould. I've always just done what I've wanted. And Bruce Lee's philosophy was similar with martial arts. He wanted to create something special that wasn't restricted and within like the katas of most martial arts. So he devised I guess he devised a new martial arts that was free from form and basically just took all the most powerful parts. And he used a philosophy on water, which probably most of you know. If you don't, go check it out. And yeah, so when I came to Hong Kong and I formed Gong Wu, I was really thinking about what kind of music I wanted to make, because I'd made so many different styles when I was back in the UK, and I really started to feel very connected to the philosophy that Bruce Lee had. And so when Gong Wu formed, we had no preconceptions of what we wanted to do. We just wanted to make powerful music, and we didn't want to be trapped in a style. We wanted to be free flowing, and so the name really had to represent the style of music we wanted to make. And I couldn't just call the band Jeet Kune Do as much as I wanted to, so we had to try and think of a name. Well, I wanted to make a name that incorporated water into the name, and I went around trying to find a Chinese name, because we're in Hong Kong, I'm half Chinese and our band is Chinese, so we were trying to find a name that really represented Hong Kong and represented our band style. So I started researching characters in Chinese, and came across all the different versions of water characters. As most Chinese people know, and you guys know, there's so many different ways to write fluids and waters in Chinese, so I really wanted to try and find some really cool characters that were very memorable. And it just so happened at the time, I think I was looking around rivers and lakes, and my old manager, she suggested, oh, why don't you put these two characters together and call it Gong Wu, because the characters are pretty badass. If you mix Gong and Wu together, it's a pretty badass name. And we went through and I did the research, and yeah, I discovered that there's so many different meanings to Gong Wu, not just bad but good as well. And yeah, it really represented us. I found that there was so many different ways you could interpret the name, that I wanted it, that it was perfect for the style of music we wanted to make, because I didn't want people to just have one interpretation of what we were doing. I wanted people to really listen to it and have their own thoughts on what it was. So yeah, that's how the name came to be, and we've soon since realised that it's a pretty badass name, and people remember it, which is perfect, because although it's got a lot of bad connotations to it, it's pretty gangster these days, but you cannot not say Gong Wu to a local guy and him forget the name. They will always remember it. So it was almost by fate that we found this name. But anyway, this is my first blog, and thank you for listening to my rant.